This is the carnival of colors and sounds that is New Orleans, Louisiana. A Mississippi River port city awash in its southern roots, its colorful French Creole charms, and its overtones of piety.
It's very Catholic.
Very Catholic, very Baptist, even very voodoo. A city that lives according to code.
New Orleans gets stuck in this kind of like Puritan mentality that's completely antithetical to everything that's happening.
People come and have conventions here because they know there's the French Quarter, they know there's strip clubs, prostitution.
This is Bourbon Street. For about $200 you can buy yourself sex. More specifically, straight up intercourse. With a New Orleans streetwalker. Anything else,
oral sex, anal sex,
can be negotiated. But anything else is also against the law, according to a law called Crime Against Nature.
It basically prohibits anything other than ordinary intercourse.
There's no police out there going into neighborhoods saying you can't have anal sex with your husband, you can't have oral sex with your wife.
Right. No one's actually enforcing that.
But it is enforced, and enforced heavily, on the prostitutes of New Orleans.
These are people who can least afford to be charged with something like this.
Right.
All you have to do is have an undercover officer driving around in plain clothes in an unmarked car, and all you have to do is drive around and drive up to people that they believe are prostitutes or are known prostitutes, and just ask how much.
And if she answers, she's just opened a huge hole in her life.
A huge hole because a crime against nature charge is punishable by as much as a 20-year prison sentence, incredibly large fines, and...
You're talking about a woman who's in her early 20s who has to register as a sex offender for the next 15 years.
For a city whose cell job quietly includes pleasures of the flesh, why the need to criminalize sex acts in which just about anyone engages?
And almost all of these cases end up in a plea to probation and fines and fees. And the important part about the fines and fees is that's all revenue coming in to pay for the court system, to pay for police, to pay for the jail, to pay for prosecutors' offices.
Simply put, an antiquated 19th century law passed on the guise of Christian values.
They are all under sin.
Maybe being used today still to make money.
It's a 5-year felony. You can use that to encourage people to plead guilty very quickly. It justifies higher bonds.
The hookers often instead plead guilty to a lesser charge of prostitution.
Pleading down to a misdemeanor means you can charge higher fines and fees.
How do prostitutes, who usually can't afford those fines and fees, pay for them?
They're paying for it by engaging in more prostitution.
Which they get hit again.
Then they get caught again, and they have to engage in more prostitution. It's a vicious cycle.
This is an old law. It's a stupid law. It's a law that a lot of people, even within the criminal justice system, don't agree with.
Now you can see how some are trapped in the carnival that is New Orleans. And if you think they're the only ones, wait, there are others. Cedric Moon, RT, to be continued.